LittleBigPodcast. This is episode 121.
I'm Austin.
I'm Daniel.
And we are your hosts for now and forever.
I think we did this last
exists.
week, too.
We did do this last week.
So anyway, I guess we're solidifying our position. And
Alright, so for the random thing of this week's episode, I found the balloon that they gave out to us from the New York City event where we we didn't break the world records. We watched people break world records. And anyway, we found this party balloon, and it's very small now. So I don't know quite what happened to it, but we still have it.
Yeah, a funny thing is, Lauren, she was one of the gamers that helped or did break the world record, and she has her balloons still, and they're full-size normal balloons. So it's kind of funny to see what happens between...
She said it was the Brooklyn Air.
Yeah,
I don't know if I believe her or
I don't
not.
really know. It's kind of scary. So anyway, on to
and speaking of Lauren, happy birthday. Because it's
happy
her birthday today.
Lauren.
So, well, actually, by the time you watch this, it'll be yesterday. But yeah,
we're filming.
We're still saying happy birthday on the show because we can.
Yes. All right. For the art this week, we have, I don't even know what that says. Jero Patrick JV. He drew on his iPad, and he drew some Little Big Planet 2 stuff.
Yeah, it was really cool. It looks like it was done on Photoshop and not on an iPad, but it definitely was done on an iPad, and it was very impressive.
Yes.
And very cool looking. Very, I can't even think of the style to describe this, but it just, I've seen the style before.
Drawn.
No, I've just seen the style done before in the game in a level. Yeah. And it's pulled off really well. So.
Yeah. So I guess that's all the art that we had this week.
Remember,
keep the art flowing.
If you're an artist, email us, littlebigpodcasters@gmail.com. And
if you can draw stick figures, email us, littlebigpodcasters@gmail.com. We really don't care. We'll show your art anyway, because a lot of it's just really cool for whatever reason. So we'll find a reason yours is cool, point it out, and put it on the show.
Okay, so for those of you who have been living under a rock, PSN is back up and online, or at least a big portion of it.
Yeah.
And so we picked 6 community levels this week just to kind of give you guys a good head start into delving back into the huge pool of community levels there are now in Little Big Planet 2. So we're going to go ahead and get started with these levels.
First level is Massive Epic Raging Destruction 3D FPS trailer by Steve Big Guns. Wow.
Yeah, I told you this.
So
I told you
cool.
the 3D camera thing was going to end up being something big, and leave it to Steve Big Guns to make it that big. It is a 3D first-person shooter, and what you see here is basically just a trailer. It's not actual. Well, it is actual gameplay, but we're not playing it. It's basically just a video that you go in and watch. And it's just incredible to see what he's been able to pull off. Realistic camera shake. Obviously a lot of cool gun motions, reload.
Yeah,
running.
and like when you run and move up.
Oh yeah,
when
it's everything. So basically, for those of you who are interested and don't know quite how this works, it is actually put on this side of a level,
and
so
you're
facing
up
towards the ceiling.
It's really cool
With the camera. So pulled it off to perfection. I can't wait to get our hands on the controller and play that level.
The publisher was Steve Big Guns, but it was him and Special D that helped out.
Yeah.
So, all right, and next we have a 50-minute movie by Lady Lynn 1, and it's Figment. It's a very, very, very creative, original story. Really good. We're only going to show like a couple seconds of it here, but if you want to check that out, the lbp.me link should be down there.
Right, and we watched the entire thing this afternoon. It's incredible, has a very good storyline.
Some really good, just like cinematic stuff too. I mean,
even just the camera work and the set design and lighting and music, and I mean, like, it sounds funny to be design. It sounds funny to be talking about really stuff like this in Little Big Planet, but I mean, it was done really, really well.
Yes.
So this was actually an entry, I do believe, to Sakinima's Machinima contest that's going on right now. So that was very awesome, and it's picked for that. But we thought, this is a first, really, like a feature. Yeah, I consider this a feature-length movie,
right?
For Little Big Planet. I mean, obviously it took PSN being down to be able to compile all this together. I have no idea how long it took to make, but
we could try to get in touch with them and see.
It's a very impressive, very impressive level.
Next, we have Duck Hunt by Sasukeuchica, and
I'm surprised you pronounced that right.
Yeah, I nailed that, didn't I?
I'm glad you did that.
We actually got a message on YouTube there, and I saw it yesterday, maybe. And it said, hey, I have this new level out, and I really want to get on the level lineup. And I'm like, okay, I'll check that out tomorrow when it's time to pick levels. So I played it today, but I forgot where it was, and it was on the cool pages. And I'm like, hey, that seems familiar. So I ended up playing that, and it was really cool. And as you can see, it looks exactly like it did back in 1984. if any of you guys were alive to be playing it back then. And they are going to update this to work with the Move Pack that's coming out
sometime in the near future. So yeah, sounds very exciting, and I can just see all sorts of mini games popping up with the new move functionality. So it's exciting to see someone already has plans and a level to go with that.
Yeah, they'll just have to adapt it however that may be.
All right, our next level is Harsh Conditions by racingcreed.
All right, now in this level, you're kind of in the wilderness of coldness.
We're gonna call this Serbia.
Serbia?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're in Serbia. And you're walking around, and there's like little apartment complexes and bustling highways.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. There's really not. There's like log cabins and stuff. And they're asking you what you're doing, and you're like, oh, you're just going out in the wilderness. And they're like, okay, good luck. So that was basically the story of this level.
It was described as a scenic platformer, and that's what it was.
You guys need to go play it because it's really pretty. All right, next up we have, now let me give a little backup to this before. We were going to have 10 levels this week, but then our brains melted to a slimy goop after playing this, and we could only find one more. So, without further ado, Neon Cat by Baghead Inc. And as you know, this is the most annoying recent video on YouTube, and I really can't stand watching it. It's so annoying, but just huge props to Spaff right now because
he has the top score on this level.
I think so.
Unless somebody passed him up. It's 1.5 million points.
That's a lot.
Which tier calculations was?
I don't remember.
Was
I
it
think
like 40 hours, maybe?
Something like that.
Yeah,
it's a really long time.
It's pretty crazy, but it does have a timer at the bottom of the screen, so you can see exactly how long you've endured. And and yeah, so it's very interesting. See how long you can last. We only lasted about 3 minutes because we didn't want to clog our hard drive with recording.
Yeah.
So yeah, and our final level is Remnant Ignatius by Lockstitch.
Now this was a really untypical level for Lockstitch. I mean, most of his levels are kind of like harsh conditions, but this one was really, really cool. It was totally
more like
different.
Like a space station type thing.
Right, but it still had all the mechanics and
it had all the classic contraptions that he always comes up with, and it was a really brilliantly done level once again, and it was a blast to play through. Had a lot of fun with this one, and it's definitely one you need to check out because it was awesome.
Yes. All right, and that's all the levels we have for this week. Next week we'll be back to having 3 levels a week every week, unless something terrible happens. So without any other news other than this, we will be ending up pretty soon. Periodic DLC will be back to normal. So Tron and Killzone 3 and all the other stuff.
All the packs that were scheduled to come out while the PSN was down will be periodically releasing over the next few weeks. Once the PSN gets back up and running, we'll bring you dates next week so you can figure out exactly what's going on with that. So no panic, those packs are still coming out just periodically over a few days.
All right, and next we have the Mind the Gap Crown Contest, and these are now due May 22nd. So keep that in mind and get ready to publish your stuff.
Right, so when you publish your level, make sure you send us an email to littlebigpodcasters@gmail.com with the subject of MTG or Mind the Gap, and we'll take that email with your Little Big Planet, I always say Little Big Planet, lbp.me link, and then we'll add it to our queue, make a list of just the Mind the Gap levels that we need to play through, and then we'll send them off to be judged, and we'll announce our winner probably mid-June. So
yes. All right, now if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm actually looking up some more information, which I sort of forgot to do, about the Welcome Back program from PlayStation, and this will start phasing in
once the PS Store comes back in.
Yeah, once the PlayStation Store is back.
So basically how it works for the US is you get your 30 free days of PlayStation Plus. Those of you who are already in PlayStation Plus you'll get the 30 free days, plus you're not going to have the 30 days removed from your subscription that you missed during the outage.
Right.
And then you're going to get to choose from 2 of 5 PS3 games.
Right.
And then you're going to be able to choose from 2 of 5 PSP games.
Yes. Now this is everybody that has a PlayStation Network can pick 2 of these 5 games. First off, we have Dead Nation, then Infamous, then Little Big Planet, Super Stardust HD, Wipeout HD, and Wipeout Fury. Those are bundled. And then for PSP owners, there's only 4, and it's Little Big Planet PSP, Mod Nation Racers, Pursuit Force, and Killzone Liberation. So you can pick your favorites.
Sony is not giving us these cheapo titles and saying, here, pick these as compensation. We are getting some serious games here.
Yes.
So some of you might still whine and be like, oh, well, I already have all these games. Well, guess what? Not everyone does.
And
so this
if
is a
you
great
do already
package.
have all those games, there's a selection of On Us movie rental titles that will be available to PlayStation Network customers for one weekend. So those will be announced soon. They don't have the final list up yet, but those will be announced soon.
Okay, so that would be our PlayStation Network update, I guess. And now we need to move on to 3 quick shout-outs that we have. First one off is to Carrie Schmidt, an awesome guy out in California that we met. And he's been going through chemotherapy for, I guess, a type of cancer.
Yeah,
and he's finally come through his last treatment. And he's cancer-free now, I believe. So Congratulations to him. Thanks for watching. And it was an honor and privilege to meet you.
Yes. All right, next we have a shout-out to the new Splinter Gamer TV. You can check that out by clicking this link. All right, and next we have a shout-out for Adam Shear to go to E3. You can follow the directions in the garage below and click on the link, and you can go vote for him to go to E3. And that's all we have for you this week, so don't forget to contact us. You can subscribe on YouTube and subscribe on iTunes. You can watch on the go with iTunes as well. Follow us on Twitter at LBPodcast. Check us out in the PlayStation Home Theater, which we have a new video this week. And email us, littlebigpodcasters@gmail.com.
All right, sounds great. Thanks for watching this week, guys. Tune in next Friday for an all-new edition of Little Big Podcast. We will see you then. Goodbye.
Bye.